Continuing our look at the digital nomads-in-residence in Dubrovnik, today we're with Kelsey Kay Love. Kelsey, tell us first of all who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
Great. My name's Kelsey Kay Love. I'm from Dallas, Texas, but live in Los Angeles. I'm a brand manager for Saltwater Rum, which is co-owned by Bruno Mars. I'm in Croatia because I had a Google alert for Digital Nomad Visa Croatia, and it paid off, obviously. I found out about this contest through my Google alert and then through several different means, mostly on LinkedIn, and so decided to apply as I do not like living in California, and now here I am. Hooray!
And I have to say that of the 115 video applications we got, yours was actually the one that had us all laughing and stuff, so we just had to meet you. So tell us what it's like you're obviously you're working, and
Yes.
this isn't just a vacation. So tell us how it is like working here and the Dubrovnik experience, combining that with your day job.
Right. So this is not my first time doing that. I've lived in 5 different countries and had a full-time job in each one of those places. So it's not a new experience for me to work remotely, especially for having an employer in a different country, different time zone. I'm used to kind of like finagling my way into convincing my employer that this is going to work, and usually 99% of the time it does. It might be more inconvenient in terms of, taking late night phone calls sometimes, but really at the end of the day, like, my job exists online. And so if I can't do it remotely, there's probably something I'm doing wrong.
Okay.
And that's kind of the goal for me, is to keep that type of job.
Okay. Perception of Dubrovnik before you came and now, has it changed a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at photos and it looks like this like massive grand place and so dramatic, and in those terms it's still like very dramatic architecture and gorgeous. It's just smaller. There's like, I'm from Texas, everything's larger there. There's this whole perception of it being kind of the same way when you come to a place. It's like it takes hours and hours to get around, and I like that about Dubrovnik, is that it's small, it's easy, it's walkable.
Yeah.
It's really easy to meet people here, and especially because it's not a huge tourism boom right now, especially with COVID. Like, it's actually been nicer in a way to meet the locals in a time when it's slower here.
Tell us about your engagement with the community and the people you're meeting. How's that been? What kind of experiences have you had?
Right. So my main goal in life is to make friends with boats, typically. So I went down to the local harbor here and talked to, I've spoken to pretty much everyone that does boat tours here. And then besides that, like, I've mentioned the fact that we're digital nomads. We've been recognized a few times. I met some old gentlemen on the beach that are very kind and who also have boats. Win-win. And yeah, everybody's just been very friendly. I can make friends with a telephone pole, so I feel like it's been really nice just to meet locals here. It hasn't been very challenging. Everybody's been super helpful if I'm standing there and looking confused. Okay,
cool. So it's no secret that Croatia, it's moving towards this digital nomad sort of offer, but we still have quite a long way to go. This is a really important learning experience for Dubrovnik, and the synergy between the communities has been fantastic so far. What do you think Dubrovnik does well for nomads? What do you think it could do better? And how do you see that process evolving?
I think what it does well is, I mean, look, it's a beautiful place. There's lots of outdoor recreation to be had. I think that's what a lot of people are missing when they're working online in their home countries, is they're confined. They're in an office all day, or they're at home all day. They're not really like getting out much. And so I think Dubrovnik has a lot of potential there, because there's hiking, there's boat tours, there's wine tasting, there's lots of recreation to be had here. And just, hiking up the stairs in general in and of itself is a good recreation. Challenging parts, I think, is cost compared to other parts of the country and other countries in general, actually in Europe, that are offering digital nomad visas. But I think that will evolve over time. I think it will take a little bit of convincing the community and working with accommodation providers especially, to figure out the balance of that. But I think that's always a challenge anywhere you go, is figuring out the cost versus the payoff. for this kind of tourism.
One of the things that Ron mentioned was that, you know, there's Dubrovnik outside the city walls, and he's been quite amazed at not only the city but what there is to do around.
Right.
And you've been on a couple of excursions, and
Yes.
any particular highlights from those trips?
Yeah, so in Corchula we went to this place called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Canuba Maha. It's the restaurant on top of the mountain, and it was like absolutely insane. There's these big burly men and serving like things with tiny flowers, but on top of that, the food was like absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
And you know, we went to like a honey tasting. We've had like so many different winery experiences here, and like, yeah, just meeting honestly everyone that worked there too. At each one of our tours that we did there was absolutely interesting. Oh, and our walking tour in the morning in Corchula was really interesting to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. What's your number one favourite moment of the trip so far?
That's really difficult to say. I actually really liked our sunset tour that we first did. That was my like first full day
Adriatic sunsets.
in Dubrovnik. Yeah, and Adriatic sunsets like took us to the top of the hill, and it was just a nice way to spend. It was us all together in like a single spot, and to see the city from above, and just like really romantic and memorable. So I think I'd have to say that so far.
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for your time, and enjoy the rest of your stay.
Thanks, Paul.
And now, cheers.
Hey yo.